So how are you juggling with just the craziness and the variety of support about coronavirus? How are you juggling getting athletes into California, putting them at a meet, taking care of them? That's got to take a lot of your time.
Yeah, it is interesting how this is these meets are small. We're talking 40 athletes,
Sure.
which is nothing. But
Mhm.
it is when there's 5 more layers of things you have to do to get them on the starting line.
Yeah.
We have to test them twice within
Mhm.
the week. So not only do we need to get all those results, but we also need to help athletes get those results in time. And so
Okay.
juggling all that, making sure we have that, even communicating that ahead of time so that we're not all the way to meet day and an athlete hasn't gotten 2 tests. So just that amount of detail work, leg work ahead of time is one thing. The logistics that go into that is a whole other thing. We've been really lucky. The state of California is great with testing. And then a lot of the athletes, because we're at kind of the end of the season here, a lot of the athletes have competed a couple times before they've come here, which means
Sure.
they've gotten used to going to wherever they go in their hometown or their, wherever to get tested. And so they're a little bit more like, they know, okay, I got to go on Sunday and then I got to go again on Monday.
Yeah.
And, I usually get results quite right away. Or if they don't get results right away, they know to use our testing, which ensures them results right away. And so it's just a matter of, and every single person's different. Every group and training group is a little different in what they're doing. And so that amount of communication and planning, even for 40 athletes, just adds quite a few layers. And then for us, the hardest part by far is getting a venue.
Yeah.
The state of California, or at least in Southern California, tracks are not open. We did the Inspiration Games at Mount Sac earlier this year.
Yeah.
And we were really, really lucky to be able to use that facility. And that team is very, very dialed when it comes to pulling things off. Very complicated events. So pulling something small off like that, even though for TV and for 50 countries, it was interesting from that standpoint. From safety, we were always good to go. But
Sure.
the optics of all these tracks are at schools or high schools or universities.
Yeah.
In California, most of the high schools and universities, the coaches, the teachers, and the students since March haven't been allowed on campuses.
Yeah.
And so for them to say yes to, now we're going to have a track meet, they're like, listen, we haven't even been in our office since March. We love what you guys are doing, and we agree that it'll be safe, but they're like, there's no way that our president or whoever will let us.
Yeah.
And so we were lucky. We found a facility, and they actually do a lot of filming, like TV, music video, commercials.
Yeah.
And it's a big revenue driver for them. And they're really, really organized and good at what they do. And because of that, they were actually functioning a little bit more normally, because even though school wasn't happening, they still have that events team that is managing all of that.
Yeah.
And because of that, they just looked at us as another event that they were going to have that was going to require testing, and all their things are small. It's like a movie set comes in and they have 40 people and they're all tested and they're all insured. And we weren't actually any different than that. We have insurance, we're sanctioned, we have testing, we have point people to, we have medical. And so we were really lucky that they looked at us the same way they were looking at these TV crews.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, I think if we were not in this place that does films and TV, I don't think we would have pulled it off. I know every state's different. I drove up to Washington earlier this summer to visit friends, and Washington, the tracks, they're just as strict with regards to, restaurants and public places and whatever, but for some reason tracks are open there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And same with Oregon. Not every single track, obviously, but obviously the guys at Portland Track Festival or the Portland Track, they were able to pull off a whole series of meets as well. But I think they also struggled finding a track, and that's why we saw the pop-up meets and everybody's keeping it secret. just as we have. For safety's sake, there's just a lot of fans that want to watch track, and we have to keep things secret so that we don't have. It's the weirdest thing to be talking about keeping a track meet secret, because for the 6 months since our last meet last year, all I was doing was coming up with a plan to sell out these stadiums.
Yeah.
We're sick of going to track meets, sick of seeing world-class athletes compete in front of 1,000 people. So we went to these 10,000 person stadiums, and we put together a plan to sell out these stadiums. And then everything hits in, February, March. And I think, like all of us, we've just been playing it month to month. When we first hit in March, we thought, July, our meets are in July. We're safe. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And even in April, I thought we were safe, because things, everybody was staying at home, and there was a lockdown. Numbers were going down. And I think every week, every month, what our plan was changed. And then we got to about early mid-July, and we realized the only thing we were going to pull off, even if we got a venue, which that wasn't automatic, was something this size. It felt like the only thing that we could feasibly do here and not feel like we were being tone deaf.